What is going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt, and it is time to talk about Yetis at Town Hall 12. We're going to be explaining everything that you need to know about using the Yeti Smash and Yeti Bobat in this video. If you guys are interested in seeing more Town Hall 12 content on the channel, make sure that you're subscribing to the channel and ringing the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. But let's go ahead and get started. First, let's go ahead and talk about the Yeti Smash. Now, this attack strategy does require you to do some base identification before you actually start using this. For one, you want to really look at the base as a whole. If there are a lot of really good areas where you can use a double jump, triple jump, or a quad quake and jump, you want to make sure that you are driving through the base really easily. So in this case here, as an example, we want to make sure that we're using these jump spells in order to get us really deep into the base without having to break down walls with the Yetis. That's one thing to avoid, and that's one of the tips I want to give you here. When you're identifying a base with Yetis, make sure that the base design is suitable for the Yetis to move through in a group. That way, for the most part, they will not start to die out, especially if they stay on the outside. And for the most part, they're not going to be breaking down a wall, which would give different defensive buildings a lot of time to shoot onto those Yetis and get rid of the Yeti mites. You want to keep them moving. So that means that you really want to make sure that you're using the jump spells correctly in a way where the Yetis are going to be able to move right through. That is exactly what you want to do. So after you identify that, it's time to create two different sides of a funnel. Starting off, you want to use the Warden Walk more often than not. The Warden Walk is a very powerful tool that you can use more often than not at Town Hall 12 with smash attacks. Yeti Smash is no different. So you want to make sure that you are taking advantage of his large radius that you can really create a funnel with. Now, this is only one part of the funnel. On the opposite side, you can go ahead and use a couple things. The King, Baby Dragon, and the Siege Barrack if you have access to it. Using this in order to create a little bit of a funnel on the left-hand side is a great way to kind of create pathing specifically for your Yetis. Now, as you can see, we already sent in our Yetis. For the most part, if you're trying to pull the Warden with the Yetis, make sure that you have a couple within his aura that will move down while the rest of the Yetis can move through. Notice that in terms of this base, we have already cleared this part of the base with the Warden Walk, and on the other side, we're using the Siege Barrack and King to carve this area. This leaves us now with these Yetis that will move over in this direction and move right into the Town Hall, which will then move us right into the base. That is what you want to consider when you're using this attack. Make sure that they're staying in as a group. That way you can use these bowlers and force them to go right into the base. Now, even though we're dealing with the clan castle here, it won't be too hard as we can deal with them with a poison. Now, dealing with the clan castle and the town hall, we want to make sure that we are using the Warren ability to get through this. For the most part, if you're seeing a town hall offset like there, it might be a good idea to go ahead and just send your Yetis in straight towards it. Unfortunately though, if you don't see that and you see more centralized town halls, I would suggest using a blimp. This way you can send in the blimp with your Yeti Smash like this while popping the Warden ability in order to make sure that the town hall goes down to the Yeti bomb, or if you have maybe even a Yeti with some sneaky goblins in there in order to take it down. Now you'll see that the first jump has been placed as we're moving through. Notice that the bowlers and the Yetis are easily allowing themselves to get down the Eagle Artillery and the other key defenses like the Multi-Inferno over at 3 o'clock. And as they're pushing through, they're getting a lot of skip value. You may have also noticed the use of the Hog Riders with the heal spell. The main reason here is because we're using the Siege Barrack. More often than not, you want to use Hog Riders in that Siege Barrack. So it's going to be a lot better for you to get through the back end. Sometimes though, unfortunately, they will fall short and it may not be the best tool. So definitely consider that the Hog Riders may not get to the back end of the base, but you will have a lot of Yetis still remaining tanking, as long as you do exactly how this attacker did here, by making sure that the Yetis moved swiftly through the base and allowed the bowlers to get a lot of that skip value, while the Yeti mites were also picking off a lot of defensive buildings from a distance, which definitely means that the Yeti mites are doing a lot of that work compared to what the Yetis are doing, which is just tanking through everything that is in front of them. Other than this though, this gives you guys a really solid look into how you guys can use the Yeti Smash at Town Hall 12. Now don't worry, we also have another variation if you like to use bat spells. The bats are also a great method that you can use in order to take down a lot of different base designs, and Yeti Bobat is no different. So let's go ahead and break down that one as well. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the Yeti Bobat. Now with the Yeti Bobat, it's going to be a little bit different. What you want to look for in this case are going to be splash damage defenses. This is going to be things like the Wizard Towers, the Multi-Infernos, and the Eagle Artillery, along with the Town Hall. You want to make sure that you are highlighting them and seeing exactly where exactly you would want to use the kill squad at before you actually drop in your bat spells. So you want to look at this, and for the most part, we can see that on this base, most of the splash is up towards the top side of the base. So what we want to do is we want to see where this wall wrecker may path if we're going to use this. So we can actually get rid of a couple wizard towers here, and we can get rid of the eagle along with the town hall. That's a lot of good value here for this attack, and we want to make sure that we are using that as an example. Now what we're going to be doing in this case is using another Warden Walk. We want to make sure that we are using this to create just a little bit of the funnel. We want to make sure that we're carving out this side with the use of the Warden Walk, while on the other side we want to use the king and the baby dragon to create the other side of the funnel. This will then force these Yetis and the wall wrecker along with the queen to move right into the base with little to no problem. That's exactly why we are going to be using this using the Warden Walk first to push everything through the base easily. And that way we're able to create just enough of a funnel so they move in. As we can kind of see from here, we are going to use the king ability, but once we're done with this, we can now send in the Yetis in order to focus this warden to go in with them, along with the rest of our attack, being the wall wrecker, the enemy or the queen, and the Yetis and bowlers. Now we are going to pop the warden ability early in order to protect the Yetis as they're moving through, along with that protecting the wall wrecker. Remember that what you want to do with this is you want to get to the town hall if you can. So make sure that you are being prepared if you either need another rage spell to boost your P.E.K.K.A.s and your Yetis through the base, or if you need a jump spell to get to the town hall. That's just something to keep in mind. If you see a centralized town hall, or if it's a little bit too dangerous to use a wall wrecker, it might be better to use some super wall breakers to break in, and also taking advantage of how open the base is, you can actually use that to your advantage as well, and use a blimp to take care of the town hall instead of using the wall wrecker. As you can see from here, as we're moving through, we're getting a lot of value from the bowler bounces, and we're getting a lot of value from the wall wrecker and from the Yetis. As you can see, as they're moving through, we deal with the clan castle very easily. And once we've gotten all of the splash that we wanted, and we're guaranteed to get the town hall, as you can see from here with that wall wrecker, we can then go ahead and start with our bats. Once we've kind of gotten rid of the town hall, which is definitely a big thing to take down, we can start our bat spells as a bat wave, which is going to be the most important way that you can use this. The bats, as you can see from here, are going to be a very important and vital part to you using the back end of the attack. So this means that you want to make sure that you're taking a look at where they're going to be going in terms of their pathing. So if we zoom in here, you'll see the use of the free spells. We want to make sure that we're protecting as many of these bats as they get closer to the wizard tower. That way, you're able to easily protect all your bats as you're moving through the rest of the base. Sometimes though, you may not need to use a free spell. You may be tempted to use it here, but notice the use that the queen and the Yetis were already tanking specifically on that wizard tower for your bats, so no need to drop in a freeze. You want to make sure that you're dropping it in the area where there isn't a lot of splash damage that you're going into immediately. That way, you're going to be able to overwhelm these defensive buildings, and then you're going to be able to overwhelm the wizard tower once you get there with all of your bats. That's the reason why you want to use your bat spells in an area away from a lot of splash damage, so that then you can easily overwhelm defenses until you can overwhelm splash damage defenses with those bats. But other than that, it's still very simple, and it gives you guys an approach that you guys maybe would have expected before. So now let's give you guys a bonus example of using the Yeti Smash. I want to also give you guys another example of using the Yeti Smash if you're still confused. This one's going to be using a quad, quake, and jump, which is another method I did talk about. So this is going to give you guys a good idea of how to use this one as well. Now in this case here, you can always go in for a multi-inferno if in doubt, there is a large amount of value from this particular side. Remember that when you're using the quad quake, you want to use it in a particular area that will open up a large area in the core of the base. That way, all you have to do is use a jump spell. And you can see from here the use of the quad quake in order to open up all of these defensive buildings and also weaken some things like the Eagle Artillery and a couple others like the Expos. So definitely something to keep in mind. Now, as we're doing this, we can create the other side of the funnel. Now remember that we are using the Warden to go in for this Inferno Tower, while on the other side we're creating this part of the funnel with the Siege Barrack and the King. What we can do at this point is after this Inferno goes down, we can lure him over by using these Yetis and making sure that he's going in with the rest of the attack so that then they can start to move right into the base. Now, using the Siege Barrack is definitely very important, as you want to make sure that you are pushing everything into the base, including these Hog Riders as they also continue to move through. You'll see the use of the Rage spell, and notice how much of the base has been opened up thanks to the jump and to the quad quake. By getting rid of the multi-inferno down at 6 o'clock, we were able to keep everything moving through. In this case here, you may notice that the Town Hall has been activated, and we did use the Warn ability early, but never fret with something like this. For the most part, you will still have Yetis up, and you may have the Queen ability as well, and you'll be able to take care of the Town Hall with no problem, even if you're going in from the opposite side. This gives you guys a really good idea of smashing with a Yeti Smash, of course, and this just shows you maybe the times that you want to use a quad quake. If you can open up a large core of the base, then it might be suitable to using a quad quake and jump. So it's definitely something to use, as it's going to help you out a lot when you're getting through a large portion of a base. Hopefully this kind of helps you guys really understand this, so let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. What are your thoughts on the Yeti Smash, and are you having success with it? If this video helped you, make sure that you're leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and make sure that you're joining my community Discord server, joining me on the social, and also going ahead and following me over on Twitch. And that, my friends, is going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.